Hello, this is Gary Simon of GarySimon.net and DesignCourse.com, and today we're going to design this logo right here. And to those of you who are new to Illustrator or design in general, this will look like it's kind of complex, but it's actually extremely simple to do. So I'll show you how it's done. So I'm using Adobe Illustrator CS6, and I'm going to go to File, New, Width and Height 850 by 600 points. And you can use whatever fits your screen well. I'm going to hit OK. First thing we're going to do is create a sphere. So left click, drag out, and select the ellipse tool. And for the stroke, we're going to remove that. So we'll just put 0. And for the foreground color, we'll just select red for now. Hold Shift and the Alt key together, and then left click and drag out. Now we're going to duplicate this layer and hit Control C and Control F to duplicate it. As you can see, we have two paths here now. And we're going to change the foreground color to this top one to white. So select the eyedropper tool and click the background. Then select the Move tool, and we will hold Shift to scale down just a little bit. And then we will go to Object, Path, Divide Objects Below. Now what that does is the object below gets divided. That's obviously pretty self-explanatory. And let's select this sphere right here and delete it. And now we're going to take this and rotate it just up to right around here. Actually, I'll adjust that a little bit more. All right, right there is good. And then we're going to take the rectangle tool and draw straight over it, right around there. Now we're going to go to Object, Path, Divide Objects Below. Then we're going to take the top portion that we divided and hit the delete key. So now what I want to do is give this a radial gradient. So we'll select Radial, hit the G key, and adjust it right on the edge to the center point. We'll take the white color picker and we'll select RGB up here in the corner. Then we'll also go to File, Document Color Mode, RGB color. And we will change that color to a red/orangish color. And then over here we'll double click on this black one, change to RGB. And that's pretty good for now. We can adjust it later. Actually, I'm going to adjust it real quickly right now by moving this over, left clicking to add a new one, and then just make this one a little bit brighter of a yellow. All right, so now we're going to take this and we're going to duplicate it by hitting Control C and then Control F. As you can see, we have the new one here, and I'm going to move it over to around the center point of the original, and then I'm going to scale it just a little bit by holding Shift. Okay, and then I'm going to select this top one, Object, Path, Divide Objects Below. So now we have two different paths here. Now we're going to take the one to the left, hit the G key, and drag out from the very upper left-hand corner. So what that does is give us this 3D sort of appearance. Now I'm going to take the magnifying glass and zoom up. And sometimes when you divide objects, you get a very, very faint sort of white area. And so what you can do is take the object beneath, which is right here, is the very first one, take this anchor point and just move it up a notch or two with your arrow keys, and that gets rid of that annoyance. All right, so now what we can do is take both of these paths and group them. So hit Control G, and it creates a new group right here. Now I'm going to take this right here, this group, and duplicate it. Control C, Control F. We'll select the bottom one. And if you don't want these blue lines and these anchor points here, you can just hit Control H to hide those. All right, so we're taking the bottom one, and I'm going to hold, actually I'm going to use the right arrow key on my keyboard and just move it over to right around there. Okay, and I'm going to change the color here of this, and I'll do that by going to edit colors, and then I can go to adjust color balance, and this will allow us to experiment with the hue of this object. So what we can do is go to preview, and we can start playing around with these red, green, and blue pickers. You can use whatever color you want. I think I'll just go kind of like with a yellow color right there, and then hit OK. And then I'm going to take that one right there and duplicate that again. Control C, Control F. Select the one at the bottom. Use my right arrow key. And we're going to change this color. So go to edit colors, adjust color balance. Put this up here. Hit preview. All right, I think that color is pretty good right there. And hit OK. So now we have these. I actually don't want the endpoints right here. I kind of want it to end behind this red arc right there. So what I'll do is zoom up just a little bit with the magnifying tool. And I'm going to take the pen tool and click right around here. I'll hit Control H to view what I'm working with. And then left click and drag out right there. And just go all the way around and end up right there at the original point. Now hit Control 1 to go back to 100% view. And I'm going to select this blob that I just created along with these two layer groups. Then I'm going to just move them down and away from that original one. Select this, go to Object, Path, Divide Objects Below. Then I can take the Direct Selection tool and just hit the Delete key. So now I can take these both and move them back up here. And that gives us that effect. Alright, so now I'm going to take the Type tool with a black foreground color. And I'm just going to type right there. I just kind of made up this name for the tutorial. Select the Move tool and hold Shift and drag it up. And I'm going to change to a font that I have that I like called Trade Gothic. And take the letter spacing in a little bit. Maybe size it down. Actually, in the original, I had it placed over here. Hit Control, Shift, and O to convert the text here to outline. And that is basically it. Now, sometimes if you're designing a logo for a client, you always want to show them, a version just with a white background. And also a version with just 100% black and white. But sometimes it's nice to showcase it in a different type of background that they wouldn't expect. So we can go ahead and do that real quick, and I'll show you a cool way to create patterns. And so we'll select these three layer groups, and we'll group them. Actually, first we'll duplicate them, Control C, Control F, and then group them. And we'll put it at the very bottom. So now let's move this up, and I'm going to scale it down a lot. Control H so we can actually look at it. Now what we can do is go to Object, Pattern, make. Hit OK. All right, so now we're in this new pattern edit mode. And what's really cool is we can make changes here. And I'm first going to select all three of these groups and group them again. And now we can also, let me move that over real quick. And these are our pattern options. We can play with these a lot. Let's see here. Grid we can change to brick by row. You can see it kind of staggers them. And I can actually scale this down. And you can see they're not so close to each other anymore. And we can also change the width here and the height so that they're spaced out even more. I mean, just how about 120? And then over here for copies, let's do 9 by 9. And then we can go to edit colors, adjust color balance, and actually I'm going to hit cancel. I want to go to edit colors, saturate. Hit preview. And I don't want it completely desaturated, but just a tad bit. So negative 90%. I'll hit OK. So now we can hit done. And you can see that whole area goes completely away. So what we can do is create a rectangle over this entire area. We'll move it to the bottom. And this is our new pattern that we just created. If we select that, that gives us the pattern. Now it's still a little bit too, it sticks out too much, so I'll go to transparency and take it down to around 30%. Then we can also lock this so we can't select it. And then further, we can, actually I'm going to take that and duplicate it, Control C, Control F. We'll lock that one, and we'll give this a gradient, a radial gradient. And I'll change this to white, change this one to a gray, and let's see here, maybe increase this a little bit. And there you go. That is the logo design. Obviously you can see it's very easy to create something that actually looks like it was potentially complex to make. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Check out designcourse.com, and that is all. Thanks.